Dita is not your regular brand that targets budget audiophiles and makes mass market IEMs. Most of their IEMs are quite high in price and they believe in making in-house drivers for their IEMs. But why does this IEM exist in the first place when there are market leaders already making IEMs that vanish the thin line between flagship and a budget IEM? The answer is the whole package. Prelude comes under $200 price tag at around 150, and this IM will give you the build quality like a tank. It is made out of metal and the shell feels indestructible. The cable is okay at best. It has all the good properties of a cable should have. Mine has a fixed connection type of 3.5 mm. The cable is thin enough, not microphonic, has less memory than usual, but I'm not fond of that cable that much. Coming to the fit and comfort, they are not tiny IEMs. The nozzle extends quite a bit, which is helpful in a way that we'll discuss later in the tuning section, but the shells are not too heavy, not too light. It sits comfortably and steadily inside the ears without any problem. I love how it looks actually. It gives feel of a sophistication that modern chi-fi brands are missing in my opinion. Inside the chassis, you will get their own in-house dynamic driver, which is top of the line in quality. Now, why I say top of the line? Because you can EQ the shit out of this driver and it won't give you nasty artifacts. And I highly recommend EQing this IEM. Now let's discuss the packaging. It comes in a beautiful packaging. The package includes a dongle DAC. It's not a bad but not that good either. It also includes an excellent case for the IEM, which is better than the Dita projector in my opinion. But the saddest thing for me was the ear tips. They are one of the worst ear tips I ever witnessed. And I don't recommend using them with the IEM. Both the dongle and the ear tips makes no sense with this IEM to be honest. Personally, I would have loved to see a better cable or a DSP with this IEM. That remains my most disappointing aspect with this IEM experience. Now let's talk about the sound quality. Before discussing sound quality, I need to mention that ear tips and fit makes a huge difference in the set. It has quite a bit narrow band peaks in the treble region, so you have to choose ear tips small enough for the ears to play with the acoustic output impedance to get the maximum sound quality that this IEM can throw. The included tips are one of the worst tips I tried. Again, the best tips that worked for me was the KZ tips and the Rhapsody tips too. The KZ one gave me a good amount of leakage and the Rhapsody one gave me a very good amount of sealing. Both sounded very good in their own right. But I preferred the KZ because of the extra insertion depth that it gave me and the lower acoustic output impedance. The Rhapsody felt a bit more punchier and more closed in, but I like the KZ more. The sound signature of this IEM is going for a V-shaped and the focus seemed more on the technical side rather than being mild or tamer in the treble specifically. So the mid-range is perfectly balanced as a V-shaped sound. I don't find much of this in any kind of V-shaped IEM at any price point, which is one of the reasons why I don't like typical V-shaped IEMs. Prelude gives a quite good focus on the mid-range while keeping the recession in the mid-range to give that spacious signature. Now why this is possible? Because of the perfect sub-bass to mid-bass linearity, which makes the mid-range palatable while being a V-sub signature. The recession in the mids indicate a large sounding set, like it is quite a vast sounding IEM due to two reasons mainly, which I mentioned, the mid-range scoop, and there is quite a bit of contrast in the treble region which adds the pushback nature to certain sound effects. The lower mid sounded quite rich and detailed, almost a bit too well for the tonality. The nuances and texturing is extremely well implemented too. The upper mid-range is on the safer side, not that shimmer or shine to showcase female vocalists, yet they are really articulate in nature. The treble on the other hand is quite a bit elevated as well, which provides the set with incredible resolution, which is on par with Dita Projectum if you ask me. Not quite there, but it is a very thin line. Now coming to the treble section again, it has some energy in the 5 to 7 kHz region, which does fancy things to the soundstage. The definition of the instruments get better and the feel that you get with these peaks are kinda extra textured instruments. It is definitely hotter than neutral though and sometimes gives a splashy nature to the instruments if not inserted deeply. The upper treble throws a bit of air and detail into the mix, which sounds great with jazz and stuff, The spaciousness mixed with the air region of the instruments do create some pretty spicy yet defined 3D representation. Coming to the bass, which is my second favorite thing after the mid range, it's clean, it reaches deep. Not that much physicality in the sub bass region, and not that textured yet presentation in the whole bass region, but very well done and linear. It never comes in the way and always supports the stage and atmosphere, gives enough room for the mid range to breathe. Even being somewhat polite in the mid bass thumb, it is there, which makes me enjoy EDM and disco music quite well. Now, in conclusion, do I like these headphones? Yes, but not without caveat. Like, I would not use it with stock accessories. The driver quality is excellent on this IM. If you are an EQ enthusiast, you need to try this IM. And at the end, it's better built than most of the IMs out there. So if you want precise machine, buy this and forget about taking care. Ever, they can take quite a lot of it, and I have used it for 2 months consecutively, and I have used it in trains, buses. I used it like unlike anything, and they survived and they are still in pretty good condition, as you can see. So yeah, it's a pretty great IM. There is nothing that I can compare it to. Yeah, there is not much IM that can provide you with this tonality in this price range. Definitely a strong pick. Bye.